Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live SEO Q&A session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer. We're going to be talking a bit about automation, not AI, automation, things we can automate, SEO automation, because we're all lazy guys and we want to automate shit. So we're going to talk a bit about that and answer any other questions that you guys have. But before we do that, do check out the news guy. His logo is above Chris's head and below both of us. If you want to check out Randy's digital PR service, if you're interested in links, getting your referring domain count up, and all of the added bonuses of brand exposure and all the other good things that come from that particular service. So check him out. But we are here to answer your questions, and yeah, it's been a while since we've had a whole bunch of questions, so we want you to come through and steamroller us with as many questions as you have. SEO related, doesn't have to be automation related, but whilst we're waiting on people answering the questions, Chris, off air, well, we're talking a bit about the rabbit hole that I sent you down on last week.
Yes.
And obviously that comes into automation in general, because guys like you or me, the biggest thing we fail on is time. You know, it's not through lack of knowledge or anything. We just can't fucking spread ourselves thin. And I was saying to someone today, like, if I'm let's say I'm on the phone and then I'm paying a bill and then I'm sitting down going, right, what the hell can I tweet or what can I do a YouTube video on? Like, see, because I'm that busy, I'm then not creative enough to go, what have I done or what I haven't done? I'm just like, fuck the YouTube video, I'll move on to something else. And, you know, it's always been a thing, you know, what can we automate? And we've always loved automating link building and even outreach and all of that kind of stuff where you can, you know, build automations around that. Even CTR to a certain degree is being automated. You know, you've got CTR booster and you're doing this, that, and the next thing. And then, you know, you set it up and let it run in the background. So as SEOs, we've always been used to that. But, you know, with new technology and everything else that's coming out, like Make, I think is obviously one of the biggest ones that everyone talks about out there, and what you can do is fucking insane. And obviously N8N is the other one where it's just insanity that you can build like a full workflow and get it to pull stuff from Google Sheets and do this and email people, and it's mind blowing. And obviously, I spoke to you off air just in case anyone's like, "What the hell is he talking about?" And I've done a quick video on it today on the AI agent. You know, trying to come up with ideas for Twitter, newsletters, blog posts, that type of thing. That's something I would like to automate, because I can speak better than I can write. I get very impatient when I'm sitting typing out something. I can talk all day, as I'm sure you know. You're just like, Craig, shut up. We both can do that, but trying to put that into a structured blog post, I can't be asked. So using technology now to take what I've already said and put it into a blog post, can I automate that? Can I do it in the tone of my voice? Can I? Because I've already done the hard work by saying it and learning the stuff. I just can't be asked writing it. So these are the kind of things where I'm always looking to automate. And obviously social media has been one that I've automated for a number of years. You know, just, you know, sitting one day when I've got the time and scheduling out social media tweets. But things are advancing from there on in. So what kind of cool things would you love to do in your business? Like, what idea? I'm not saying you've got it, but what sort of shit do you think you would love to automate? It would just give you so much more time, because I know you've hired fucking brothers, your father, fucking everyone, because you can't do it all yourself. So what would you do next step if you could automate almost? Because Ryan Durrani's sitting there saying you can automate all of the above. What other shit would you do tomorrow that if I said this is possible, Chris?
Well, it comes down to like what would be worth my time, or what do I spend my time doing that I could better allocate towards higher achieving things. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's going to be answering the comments in YouTube. The next thing is going to be, once I produce a particular piece of content, can it then be created into a smaller piece, a bite-sized piece of content, like automatically, like a short, which then can be distributed amongst every single platform. And then on top of that, from that same initial piece of content, like a YouTube video, because I do it every day, make the short, distribute that, take the content, the transcript, create an article around that, and then take the screenshots from the actual video. So now I have images for a blog post, which I could do on Pulse, maybe my website. I could take it across the web. So now I have all my posting for the day across the board, plus a podcast because I have the audio. So I could do the podcast. I could do the images. It's every social media. Think about it, right? From one video. Spend 1 hour, and now I just lit up everything. That's big. Then answering those questions. I spend an hour a day doing that. I tried to have other people doing it, but it's not the same. I think then the very next piece as far as automation is going to be sales. Like how many people do you miss because, like we talked about it the other week, like answering it on YouTube because I'm in an informational mode, right? But when I'm standing and I get a message from my website at 8:00 at night and they're asking me about guest posts, I'm like, woozy. So automating those questions, because it's all, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Automate that. And then, hey, here's the order form. There's that. Making the podcast, that's a pain. Doing the description for the podcast, all the social medias, automating the sales. Oh, another really big piece would be like that ticketing, right? Mm-hmm. Like ticket systems. And then on the back end of that is the emails. Like I hate when I went away and I came back, because I don't let anyone into my emails. I literally had 11,000 emails. Some of them were orders, but there's actual concerns, potential customers. Like we run ads. Like, did I sit and go through all 11,000? I might've made it through 2 and then I gave up. I figured, hey, if it's important, they'll hit me again. So there's that. Man, I could go on. Like, it's just stuff I find myself doing. And then you're drained of your creative energy. Mm-hmm. Like it's that mundane stuff that you have to do. And if you did it consistently, that's what would propel you to that next step. Yeah. But you're so, like, I find myself so busy collecting what's here that I can't expand because there's too much time involved there. Yeah. That's what I'm looking to automate. I know that seems like a lot, but most of it I'm able to do already. I'm starting to. Like with what you said, like with these new advancements, it's pretty fun. But what I keep finding with Make, though, is I'll understand the process. I'll understand what needs to be done. Like the transcription is what I'm trying to work through now. It's like, okay, take the video, get the transcript, export that MP3, and then go take it over to Art19, which is a podcast, Amazon's. And then from that transcript, make that the description, but include these links.
Yeah.
Making it do that's tough. Yeah. I'm struggling.
But I'm sure
I'll quit talking. Yeah.
No, I'm sure there's a way. I think it's just finding and having the patience to go through it, because Ryan was the one helping me, and I think he would probably admit himself he's pulling his hair out with certain things, like this fucking thing's not working, or that's not working. It's all these fine little fucking nuances, it's a pain. And yes, introvertedscootmake.com is one place where you can go and see what you can do on there. I don't want to sit there and say you can only do this and that. I think Make, it is still mind blowing to me. the opportunities on there that you can do. But Ryan's saying Make isn't as flexible as N8N. Make is hard work. N8N can do it. So N8N is the one that's behind the AI agent that I've got. And whether it's better, more difficult, I'm not going to sit there and do that because it wasn't me that set it all up. But obviously, everyone's talking about N8N and Make just now. So it's exciting times, but it's, for me, it would be mind blowing. I think I'm like you, Chris, I would get frustrated and I'd throw the laptop out the window. Very quickly. I'd be like, dude, this shit's fucking garbage. It doesn't work. And I'd throw it away. Whereas guys like Ryan are probably slightly more patient and try and probably go, it took them 4 hours and they're like, yes, I got that to work. And dude, after 5 minutes, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm off.
Madness.
I'm just an impatient
I try to get the guy to build me templates too. And then like they'll get it done. And then the time that I spent saying, well, that I need this and no, this and no, like this, like that drove me crazy too. So not only did I lose money, but now I lost time. Like, geez. Yeah. Because that was my goal. Once I get each of those systems done, because setting it up and then, you have to refresh the, like the tokens or whatever, like you have to keep that refreshed too. Like I forget what they call it inside of Make, but dude, once I get it set up, I just want to get, okay, here's the process for everything. You can save all this time. Here it is. Here's the template, baby. You know?
But
would you sell that?
Nah. But
no.
If you got a guy that does shit like that for you, or are you doing all of this yourself?
No, I had somebody that did it, but not to specification. And the amount of time I sat with them. But what it did teach me though is it taught me like what to do. Like, this is how you set it up, you know? So
yeah,
I guess he taught me some lessons working through it with him, but I just wanted to say, okay, here's my idea, go do it. And then give me a bill. Right.
Yeah. It's how it should go, man. Fuck trying to do it yourself. Because Ryan's saying you'd still be pulling your hair out if you were doing it. Jamie Zach. Hi, Ryan. Jamie Zach. That name rings a bell to me. Chris is saying, I've just signed up to N8N Supabase and used Google Takeout to start building an AI of my tone of voice. Thanks for sharing your knowledge earlier, Ryan. Actually, Slorry, of all people, Chris, I don't know if you've seen it or not. Slorry's not overly comfortable speaking on camera. I don't know why, because I think did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate in terms of his. So for anyone who's like, what the hell are they talking about? The fake Slorry. I'm sure you've seen Michael Merlino's got one, and a few other people have got them. But the AI version of Slorry, who he just types in what he wants us to say, and it actually looks a hell of a lot like him, but sounds scarily like him. Even the way that he paces the words that come out of his mouth is fairly, I would say, fairly accurate. 98% there, where you're like, fuck. And but the only thing is, he's standing there like this, talking, and his fingers are doing this shit, and you're like, so he's clearly stood like this to let the AI do it, but then the AI started doing shit with his fingers to make it look like he's doing something.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, you just keep seeing his fingers doing that. It's annoying. I'm just like, sorry, that's even more annoying than the real you, which is something. But yeah. But what software would he be using for that? Is that HeyGen and ElevenLabs for that type of thing, or is there something better?
You're not asking me, because I don't mess with that kind of stuff.
Nah, yeah. I'm not. I'm not. People. Someone joked today. So me and Ryan done a session earlier about the AI agent stuff, and people like, you'll soon be able to replace yourself on video. I don't know if I ever would. I'm quite happy to come on the video and be my crazy self and not try and replace that part of it, because I enjoy this part. So I'll probably stay clear of that stuff. But for other people, it's a good thing that you can automate. Hey Jen and 11 Labs, says Ryan. But guys, questions. We don't want to talk about automation in the full session, but have you got any questions, whether it's relating to automation, whether it's relating to SEO, local SEO, link building, whatever? Ask your questions and we will do our best to answer them. Someone else, Eric, is saying, hey Jen for the avatar and 11 Labs for the voice. So just reaffirming that. Hey Jen has baked Sora into it. Not sure if it's accessible to everyone, but that's nuts. What the hell's Sora? Do you even know what that is, Chris?
Sora, yeah, I know what that is. Isn't that OpenAI's video thing, or is it Adobe's? One of those two. It's like for video generation.
OpenAI's video generation model.
It's like super crazy.
Oh man.
But see, like that kind of stuff is cool, but I try not to. That's the kind of thing that you play with. And like when I remember maybe 6 months ago, like when Midjourney, like all of a sudden was like cool for the images. I found myself in there making prompts and like screwing around. Next thing you know, 2 hours pass. I don't want to do anything like that. No tension relieving. If I'm going to screw with it, it's only to reach a goal, you know? But that's me. Because then I just sit there for hours. No tension relieving. Well, sometimes.
Yeah. Good question, though, from Ryan. Do you see AI agents driving down the costs for SEO providers? So if you can automate a lot of this stuff, would you see that?
Something I've noticed. So something I've noticed about this industry, I highly doubt that. I highly, highly doubt that. I don't believe that it would drive down the cost.
Come on, Chris. It must.
Nah. If an agency owner was able to replace 8 people, they would retain their prices the same.
Oh no, not price. The costs of the agency. He means so not.
Their overall
they charge. Their overall costs.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. Right. I thought. See, I was looking at it from the other standpoint. Like, hey, would I pass the savings on? Like, hey, I was able to get rid of 8 people.
No, fuck that.
Right. But yeah, definitely it would dump cost. But it has to do very specific tasks, stuff that would replace people specifically, right?
Yeah.
So, and I guess that's the goal, right?
But there's some people out there spending 20 grand a month on content, for example, and if you could get an AI agent to replace the 7 people you've got for that, then happy days. If you can. But I think that's the way people are looking at it. If you can automate, doesn't matter. Like, I had a friend who worked in a big organization, and his job was to automate certain things way before now. Like, I'm talking about years ago, automate things in the business to replace certain staff members, because there were people sat there twiddling their thumbs and not actually doing anything of real value. And if they could automate that part, the way they always looked at it is, building this automation is going to cost you 100 grand, but it's going to save you 3 million in wages. So take your pick. Do you want it or not? So people have been doing that for years, and I think it's going to be the same with this across any business, not just SEO providers, but any business. This can.
Why? I'm still stuck on this NAN though. What it is dramatically more expensive for less. What made you guys go with that? You tried both, and that you guys just ran with that, or is that the one that you tried first?
Ryan, you can answer that one because I don't know. I just went with what Ryan thought was best, or what he said was best. He's obviously done a lot of research. So, Ryan, if you could answer that. But Amped Digital is saying automations to keep Google profiles alive, personal profiles, not business profiles, that exists already. Is that something you feel you could do, Chris? Keep personal profiles alive?
Well, yes, but not inside of Make. I haven't tried that. But we are utilizing automation to keep profiles alive. Absolutely. But within a different system, but definitely. I didn't even think about that, to be honest, within Make. I already had something, paid the fee. I'm happy with it.
Because Mads Laurie comes out with us and he's always got like 6 phones with him, and he pulls them out and he starts doing shit, and he's like, you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just making sure that my profiles are fucking out and about and checking into shit and all that. And you're like, fuck this, Laurie, man. That's too much work.
That's way too much work.
Yeah.
Too much work. So, I would just, find a really good provider that has 2FA accounts that are PVA attached with a YouTube account. So that's 3 levels of verification. Like, you get an aged one that has those, we're on.
And Eric is saying the way he looks at it is that N8N is a more flexible version of Make or Zapier. So that is Eric's way of looking at it. But Ryan, if you can tell us your way and why N8N and not Make was the option, let us know. If you're still there, Ryan might be buggered off and got his dinner. You just never know. But
so it is a pain in the bananas. So that's 3 people now in a short period of time. They're like, man, that makes a pain.
Yeah. I think all of them are probably a big learning curve within themselves. And you're probably you. It's probably a you thing. And Amped Digital saying, tell Chris he's withholding valuable intel here. So I'm going to make the assumption that he wants to know more about what you're fucking automating, Chris, to keep those profiles alive. He wants some juicy details about what you're doing to keep your profiles
Digital
alive.
UK. Is that somebody that we know?
Someone that I know. I don't know if you've met him. No, you won't have met him. But he's a friend of mine's and Slorry's. So he talks our language, like, give me the good stuff, Chris, is what he's asking. But
the only thing I left out was there is one more. They don't use this, but when back when you used to buy like sneaker accounts, right? For like Foot Locker, and they would have this, you would have to have a Chrome extension when you bought the account, and they would use this thing called, I think it was like Keep My Cookie or Cookie Keeper, something like this. So that's the only other piece I left out. Like, we want 2FA, we want the phone verification, and the number comes with it, even if it's a VoIP. On top of that, it has to have a YouTube attached. And then the very last piece is the performance or the past interactions. Can I have that? Can I have those files?
Mm-hmm.
So there's very select few vendors that do that. And then usually, like, I'm not able to find anything that's past like earlier than 2022, 2023. They're not that old, but they're old enough with history. And that's what you're looking for. And if you find them, you come tell me right away.
Ryan says that N8N is more flexible for advanced executions, and you can self-host it, which means you can build basically anything in it and connect it to anything. So that is his reasoning for picking N8N.
Flexibility means, though, like more room for error. So, but like you mentioned, though, they all have their own learning curves,
Yeah. The problem we've got is guys like us don't have patience and big attention spans. We need it laid out on a very simple plate, or we're not fucking interested.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
I remember guys like you, whereas guys like Ryan have maybe got proper attention spans where they can get bollocks deep into it and fucking figure it all out and unravel all of these little things. But for me, that's where I can't do it, man.
Yeah, but like it's like these little minute problems. It's like maddening. It's like taking apart an iPhone and putting it back together. It's like just insanity.
No, I just rather buy a new one. Throw the old one in the bin and that's it. So yeah, but Eric's saying that's the trade-off: more flexibility versus more accuracy. So what do you want? And obviously Ryan would argue, like for mine, he wants the output. So when I do content on mine, Chris, and I put it into Grammarly and check the AI detection and plagiarism, is zero. So it's been fine-tuned to deliver amazing output, and that is probably one of the biggest selling points, is the output that gives is not some ropey output that you would get from maybe some of the other things. So
yes, that flexibility, which is what that's really, you want it unique to exactly whatever your use case is. So that's the trade-off. You can get it to work, or you can get it to work. Right?
Mine swears and everything. So we done it today, right? And Ryan says, go in and make me a tweet about, I think it was why people need to be aware of guest posts or something. And the first line was, guest posts are a bit like fucking asking for a hooker in a brothel or something like that. And he's like, do you think that output sounds like you? And I'm like, well, maybe if I was around the bar with some lads. Yeah. But dude, it cusses and swears and everything like me. So it's pretty funky, but it says some stuff that I probably wouldn't say as well. One of those ones where you would only say it behind closed doors.
Right.
So we need to make sure that be careful with that. But yeah. But Mad says, hire smart people to do it for you. Mads, that is why I can't take credit for building it myself. I'd love to take credit and say that I built everything myself, but that would be an absolute lie. I didn't even have the first, other than input and stuff, I didn't have the fucking foggiest what was going on. So I agree with that statement. Absolutely. Ursol says he's getting massive AI FOMO. I don't know what half of this stuff is. I don't think anyone does, to be honest, Ursol. I think it's just a case of jumping on and blowing shit up is how I see it. And if it works, happy days. If it doesn't, back to what we were doing. So anything anything that we can do to try and stay ahead of the curve is good. But we need that banned words list for the agent to use in your tweets. So that's the other thing as well. There's certain words that Anthropic won't use as well. So there was a bit of, because Ryan was wanting it to cuss a little bit, but Anthropic wasn't. Yeah. So it was trying to strike the balance of that as well, which he's figured it out so far. But Chris Lever says, the way I see it, stay ahead with AI tech and stay in a job when AI decimate most computer-based jobs. So automate. So yeah, I 100% agree. And Craig only speaks using banned words. I can't even defend myself there. So Sabira says okay, and Ryan says that's what made my job so hard. But we've not got a lot of questions, so ask us questions.
Did you do a live already today, though?
Yeah, we showed off the AI agent. Well, we showed off what we wanted to show off. We didn't want to give it all up. You know how it is. But we showed it working. didn't want to show the prompts and all of that kind of stuff because why would you?
Why would you? That's fair. So you were already on today. So, we're doing good for already being live.
Yeah. But our Saul says, your tool sounds great. Hopefully be a decent SaaS for me. When's it due to launch? It's not, this is the thing with an agent, our Saul. It's not something I'm willing to sell to other people because it's trained to replace me within my business. So what Chris Palmer would want his AI agent to do would probably be completely different from what I want to do. So you can make your AI agent custom to suit you and what you want it to do. So it doesn't have to be content based. It could be invoicing based. It could be sales based. It could be outreach based. It could be anything you want it to be. Whereas mine is based around newsletters. It can create a newsletter. It can create a blog post. It can create social media tweets. Social media content. Now, on top of that, I can add other things on where I could get it to then tie in with Midjourney and create the image and automatically post to social media. I've not got that stuff done yet because the output at the start is the most important thing for me. And once I trust the output, I can then get it to do all the other stuff. But until I trust it, I'm not getting it to do the other stuff and then blindly post on my behalf. So I'm building it basic and then we'll add functions and features as it goes. I will also be, or I can also, if you feed me an article, Chris, that's AI content, I can run it through my tool and it'll take away all of the AI patterns and stuff like that from it. It will rewrite it because when you get people sending you stuff to post,
yeah,
how the hell do you know it's not AI content? You don't. And these are important things for me. Even when it comes to social media, if you post something that's already been posted, then I don't think it gets the same reach because these platforms can see that you've just fucking stolen it from somewhere. So yeah, mine's is suited for me and not like as a SaaS, but we can and will be launching custom builds for people if that's what they want to automate within their business. And we will have a mastermind purely based on that as well, which are all coming. So there you go. But that is some of the things there as well, Mads. But Ryan's asking you, have you tried O1 Pro yet, Chris? The operator function?
I believe so. I believe so. I think so. Probably not. I really, other than what this dude's given me, I mean, I don't see it inside of here.
Nah, you're not, Chris. You're not using fucking the expensive.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the bubbles to see. I'm like, I don't know. Have I? No. Did Guy put it in here? I don't see that one per se.
So here's a better way to frame that question, Chris. Are you paying $200 a month for ChatGPT Pro function access? Are you paying for that?
No.
Absolutely. That I knew you wouldn't pay for that. That's why you haven't tried that operator function. Because loads of people are like, I ain't paying fucking $200 for ChatGPT. Fuck that. But I think that comes from that advanced subscription. So there you go.
Intriguing. So, man, for $200, that seems wild.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it can do your research and shit for you. Dude, it can do research for stats and everything for you. So let's say you wanted stats on how many planes land in, I don't know, New York airport on a daily basis. This thing would go and scrape the internet and come back with all those figures and everything for you. So it can go do your research for you, which is quite cool. But what Ryan told me today is for that $200 a month, you can only do, it's capped, so you could only maybe do like 100 researches a month. You can't just blindly fucking research everything all day, every day. That is capped. So at the moment, it's capped anyway. So yeah, it's not perfect. But Ryan asks, how long do you think before we reach AI ubiquity? Question for both. Or ubiquity? How the fuck do you say that word? How the
ubiquity?
Fuck? Yeah, that's it. Fucking hell, Ryan.
Ubiquity. What is that? Like cheap? Ubiquity, cheap, affordable. I don't know. Am I off?
Basically, it means it appearing everywhere and being common. How long do you think it will be where everyone's doing all of this shit? Because obviously, just now, a lot of this stuff is fairly new to us as people, but for just random people in the outside world, they probably wouldn't even know what ChatGPT was. So,
true.
How long do you think before this would be broad common knowledge across the board?
Users use AI. What's their well, they have so they reported December 4th 300 million weekly active users.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a 10th of the population.
Yeah.
And I mean, when did we first hear about it? So within the next 6 years, everybody will know.
Chris
5. There you go.
5. Yeah. So
I was going to say 5, and then I was like, give it people are sometimes, there's going to be a lot of scragglers. So that's why I added one more year.
Yeah. Amped Digital, what are the fundamental automations we should be using for SEO in 2025? I think invoicing, quotes, fucking outreach. These are all things that take time and effort, and these should already be semi-automated if you're not already. And when I talk to a lot of people, they're still manually doing their invoicing and stuff like that, and you're like, fuck me, like automate that shit. It's insane not to. I think some of the basic things that we do on a regular basis that are time consuming, even reporting is somewhat time consuming if you're taking screenshots and do all of that kind of stuff. But it's not perfect, man. Not perfect. So I think you've got to automate what you can in SEO. Just like Chris says, anything that takes time, if you can automate it and the output's accurate, do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what else could you add? Anything that takes time that you can automate, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So instead of us looking for, this is intriguing though. Like for me, a big aha as I was growing was anytime, like think of it as the spinning wheels or the plates. Anytime you have too many plates spinning, I say, come on over here. Here, take these plates. I'll pay you X amount per month. Now it's like, oh, which AI agent will handle this for me? It's fun. Then I'm starting to look through, okay, who's got the best for the cheapest? So soon, like all those little tasks will be so cheap. Man, can you imagine? In 6 years from now, you know how cheap it'll be? Wow.
Yeah. Our Soul says it's scary that AI is basically cloning a person. I bet AI will be a real job killing in 2 to 3 years, maybe. But that's been happening for centuries as new tech comes along. It will, and I think if you don't embrace it, people will be sadly out of work. So got to get involved. And Eric says that would be such a cool use for digital PR. Absolutely. That's what my thinking behind that was, Eric. Go and get your stats that are accurate. And Google Gemini and Deep Research does a similar thing. And do you not get O1 in standard? I've got O1 capped at 25, but not O1 Pro. And Ryan says, go.
Well, so now that I realized the functionality behind the dollars, we were rotating the keys inside of OpenRouter. Because like I'm not trying to do that for research like what you're doing, but what I was trying to do is going out and scraping the information in order to bring it back to automate the schema, because that's like our next venture. And that's what we were using was OpenRouter, and then they have Gemini's in there, everything that you want, anything you want. But yeah. Interesting. I'm a cheapskate. I was like, how can I get this stuff for free? 200 a month. No way, dude.
But Ursol, I am actually launching an AI mastermind with Ryan in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll be not just focusing on the AI agent, but everything to do with AI and all the possibilities and stuff like that, because I think it's the right time to do something like that, and obviously demonstrate what's there, and obviously add to it and all that kind of stuff, and obviously help other people understand what can be done and what can't be done, because I'm the guy who sits there and says, can that be done? And they're like, nah. So I've got ideas and I know what I'd like to automate, but whether it's physically possible is the other side of the story. So I think obviously being in the mastermind would help others understand what is possible as well, because that's the big drawback is what is possible, and I just don't know, because you've got NAN and various other bits, but you've got clever developers who can then somehow bend things and make them work that maybe off the shelf can't work. So yeah, it's just a constant learning curve for me and mind blowing, because I do like technology, and I've always loved things like Money Robot or GSA. I just get a kick out of pressing a button and feel like you're cheating. So if this thing's doing all of your shit or scraping, whatever, you're just like, fuck, I can press a button and this can go fucking do all that donkey work. I just get a sick thrill out of doing that, man. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's an intriguing, it's a good idea, Craig.
Yeah,
man. It's a very good idea, sir.
I
was on school the other day.
School?
Yep, looking around.
Yeah.
People I've never even heard of.
Oh, dude.
Thousands of members.
Oh, yeah. Ryan sends me tonight. He's like, fucking look at this guy, look at that guy. And you're like, fuck. So yep.
There's this time aspect, though. That's, yeah. I just like that. Don't you? Do you want to? Man, don't you dislike giving up the time?
I think at this point, I don't mind giving up time for a mastermind, but also I'm eager to learn because it's new, and I think there comes a point where you're going to go, this is going to suck up a lot more time, but you're going to learn and you have to evolve with this, because if you don't, I've got a fear that you're going to be left behind. So are you going to have to give this more? Because it's not like just going and learning a new tool or go and learn schema or something like that. This fucking thing's moving at such a fast pace, and fucking 1 minute, this is the best thing, the next that's dog shit, and this one over here is better. And
right. See, and that's that chase. That's why it's like, and do you think that the no code is where it's going to be at? Like, what's the probability that in order to set up everything without a tool like Make or N8N, how fast are people getting to there? Or is there going to be a king at the top that does all the automations? Like Zapier was sitting up there forever. Pabbly came along and then bam, Make knocked him out. Do we think, I think people are going to be looking, you think there's a bigger opportunity in understanding how it works and teaching it? Or, hey, here's the solution?
Both, mate. I think there's absolutely both. I think there are people who just, I mean, the way I look at it is 99% of the people I teach SEO to don't do anything with it because they're either too busy, too lazy, or whatever. People would rather pay to get it done for them. And I think it will be the exact same thing with AI. I think people will absolutely be like, I need this, but they can't be fucked trying to learn it. They would just pay someone to do it.
Well, they're looking for the solution. So, and it's not as though, are you trying to learn it from a, hey, I don't even need a tool? Like, are you trying to be able to create your own or no?
So I have created my own one for me, but
build on top of another platform, right?
Yeah. But I don't know where that would go after that. You know, do we build one
like are you trying to do your own platform?
Else? Yeah. You know, there's just no one knows where to go with it because it's all changing and it's all new. And how do we evolve and what rabbit hole do we go down to? And I think for me, the opportunities are going to be limitless, and as to where this goes. But I think obviously doing it as a solution for people, we are going to be doing custom builds. Do we want to do a SaaS where people use our shit and fucking break it and all that stuff, and you've got loads of support and loads of stuff? Nah, we don't. Custom build. So there's lots of different. So, but then there could be you could end up launching 100 tools out of this as well, SaaS tools or whatever, or automation tools or agents or whatever you want to call them. So we just don't know.
Oh, I see.
Where you go?
You guys are so smart. The mastermind's paid support. Genius, dude. You're a genius, Craig. I love you, man. It's almost like we're learning together and we're able, man, you guys are great. I love you guys. You get to learn, get to dwell on what you want. Oh, dude, that's fun. I love that. Man, why you think, how much longer, I know advertising and I think there's a level of SEO, but what do you think the shelf life of SEO of 2017 is?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess, but not very long. I don't think. But what I'd also add to that as well, Chris, is there's a lot of guys out there talking about AI. It's basic AI crap. It's not a custom built agent. It's not a custom built agent that does that. So the way we've tried to attack this is build, show the output, and show the proof of concepts. So there's a lot of people saying, oh, this is great, that's great, but show me some of the fucking output. Don't show me a pishy workflow that doesn't have any output or no custom prompts or anything. Show me the fucking output that your AI agent does. And I think that is where you're going to separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, because there is a lot of people. I've done it myself. There was a tool. This is the best AI agent, and it can do social media, it can do content, it can do customer service, it can do this, that, and the next thing. It's not. It's a fucking thing that's given ChatGPT prompts, and then it forgets about you. It's not the same fucking thing. It's not a custom built AI agent that's using a database with all of your information and customized to suit you or your business. And that is, there's two differences there. And I'm not saying everyone's doing that, but I think a lot of people are.
But each of the buckets that are of interest to us or to you, to Ryan, to whomever, right? The buckets are the same. having the customized input in order to train on, being able to post to social, being able to automate certain processes within a business. The buckets are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the output and what you feed it, that's the variation. There's the customization.
Yeah.
But interesting. So you don't think the coin's in being the make, you think the coin is building on top of who we think is going to reach the finish line first.
Yeah.
And if not, hey, ride the wave all the way to the top.
Exactly. Fuck being make.
I love it, man.
I mean, you be make and something doesn't work. You think of the fucking support of all the stupid guys out there who have done something wrong, but they're blaming make, going, no, it's your fucking tool, it's fucking this and that, this is not working. And you're going, I mean, the support and cost and overhead on that would be fucking scary, man. Like, you know what it's like already with support. So I don't think being make is the thing. Fuck that.
F that. But they're just a connector. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. I've been pondering this myself. I made a very small investment not too long ago. I was thinking something very similar. Because I was interested for me.
Yeah.
You know, but I hate veering off of the main thing. You know, I want to concentrate on SEO and paid advertising. But I like playing around with this stuff, you know?
Sometimes, though, you've just got to say, do you know what? This is going to be the next big thing, and I'm fucking having some of it. So that's how I see it. With AI, you're just like, fuck it. This is, you know, people are saying AI agents are like the next crypto. And I do firmly believe that. I'm not saying it's going to be the next crypto, but I do think it's going to become a big thing.
It's going to be a run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So there we go. Honey is asking, is there any way to rank a local website using AI automation? Have you found a way to do that part, Chris?
I'm very sorry. I got a ding. I was reading to see who it was. Is there any way to rank local website using AI automation? There's certain pieces that I'm trying to automate, like first and foremost, the main basis of content. And then I'm taking that content that's generated with AI, and then we're grounding it into the SERP in order to check for entity, co-occurring key phrase, word usage, density, header count, header optimizations, all the pieces of what I think is an optimized page. Well, we know what makes an optimized page. Any section of the HTML code that can index a keyword, that's an optimization zone. So are those 200 zones optimized? Yes or no? And that's how you do it. But you're able to speed that up with AI. And then the next piece of it is, well, can I automate the schema? Well, yes, I can. Now, I've been having some drawbacks with getting the URLs and getting it to work properly, but creating the content, optimizing the content, creating the schema markup, creating the images within the content, getting the embeds if there's anything relevant, taking that post and then distributing, because having depth of concept online is important now. So yes, there is things that you can do, but I don't know any push button solutions.
Nah.
I wish.
But
there's pieces so far that have sped up the process.
Maybe Ryan could go fucking make one and give it to us all, and that's where the money's at. But with something like that, if you were to build something that done all of that and something changed, you'd be rebuilding that motherfucker time and time again, because pieces have changed. So that's why there isn't a push button way of doing it. Too many moving parts.
Yeah, for the content, I mean, just certain industries.
Say no more. But yeah, Ryan does dream about it. And you're sitting watching a film at night and he's messaging, oh, what about this one? And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, Ryan, let's get the fucking one we're doing done. Because it's just ideas all day. And then I'll go to him, dude, can this do this? you'll probably be like, Craig, I thought we just fucking agreed to just get this one done, and you're fucking throwing other shit into the mix. So it's, but it's exciting. Exciting things.
It is exciting, yes.
But Chris is saying 100% agree, Craig. And Eric is saying, personal opinion is that we'll eventually have our own custom pieces of software, whether it's code or no code. I absolutely agree, Eric. And everyone's just going to have their own secret little sauce, and they're not going to sell it on, and it's going to do exactly what your little brain does, because everyone, even just now, has their own little nuances that they do. And, you know, what you do for a GMB, there's probably 2 or 3 different bits that Slaughter might not use. He might be doing something else, and you both get results, and who the hell cares as long as you both get results? So I think it's a results-driven business, as Eric says. Who cares about the process as long as you get the results? So Chris's way might be harder. It might be easier. Who knows? And I've said that often. Like, I probably do certain steps within some of my processes that someone else could probably go, Craig, you don't need to do that. That doesn't do shit. But I'm doing it for my own peace of mind, because I believe that that's my overall formula, and I ain't changing it. So
yeah, it's worked this far. Yeah.
So
why? Which piece? Let's just say there's 50 things.
Yeah.
Is there one off the top of your head that I could take away that that you know of, or 10 I could take away?
No comment. Nah, I don't know. You know, I think, you know, when I often get asked about YouTube in particular, Chris, people say, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? And I've got various guys who say, oh, I do this, I do that, and I do that. And I'm like, nah, that doesn't do anything, you know. And then you'll say, do something else here and optimize this. And I'm not going to say what those things are, because I don't want to give up too much. And it's which one of them moved the needle the most. You know, you could probably argue that the part that you said fractionally moves it, and the one that I'm doing over here moves it more. No one knows the right or the wrong answer, but it's what you believe to be the most important thing. And I'm not talking about just micro workers and shit like that. I'm talking about like the other optimizations that people may do. And you always have this back and forth, and then other people will be like, nah, that's bollocks. And you're like, nah, it isn't. So I think we all probably do things that other people would argue that we shouldn't, or doesn't do that much. But that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give anything up. But Black Hole Super Sloth, we are on 4 to 5 every Wednesday, 11 Eastern time, forevermore. So,
well, yeah, I mean, man, a lot of changes.
Yeah.
It all started with Dan Pena. No.
No. Well, I know you're adamant that may have had something to do with things, but yeah, you never know. You never know.
I doubt it.
Maybe, but
I like his stuff.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Great guy. So can't complain. But we have answered all of the questions, and we are about out of time. Yeah, wait a minute.
Hey, Randy, Dev. Yeah, I guess we're out of time.
Shovels and meeting. Wait a minute. Programmatic landing pages. That can be done. It's the gold rush, says Ryan. And also, our Saul says, could we make an AI version of Chris who swears as much as Craig? Guys, I don't know if you've actually seen Chris in person, but he swears probably, arguably, as much as me. Maybe not on stage, but
yeah, no. Not in public setting or business setting. No,
but you swear like fucking this and F and that. Like,
absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah, but not in not where children or ladies are.
Come on.
I know,
The
dude. I'm
guy-
weird, man.
Chris preaching morals. A black hat SEO preaching morals like that. Fucking hell, man.
Mind blowing. I know. Anything that could potentially be seen by little Chris is always on the up and up.
That's a good way
That's
to look
it.
at it. But anyway, we got to the hour. So thank you,
Awesome.
everyone, for your input. Hopefully, some ideas are thrown around and people were talking. So I'm guessing it was a good conversation.
Yeah, I had a good chat. Made my brain work. I was thinking to myself, yeah, I had fun. Thanks, Craig.
But we will be back at the same time next week, everyone. If you've got any questions, comments, leave them below. Also, check out Randy the News Guy. His link is below. And also check this guy's channel, Chris Palmer SEO, or just search for him, and I'm sure you'll find him in social media or wherever you need to hunt him down if you're interested in anything that Chris does. And we'll catch you on the next